Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Mulling League's Dungeonbowl week number 2. We've got a game for you tonight. That's right. Thank you very much, SP Beaver. We got a good, very interesting game for you tonight. We've got a team I haven't seen played before. I'm eager to watch them played, and a team I've seen many, many times before. Tonight, we're going to have Kind Peacocks versus the Goodest Boys, a Kind Server versus Old Gamer Mike, Imperial Nobility versus Necro. We'll see how much the Imps play like Brett in just a few minutes. But first, let's take a look at the standings. In first place in Division A, that's where we are tonight. We have Beavers, the Dead Poets, an undead team. They're currently in the lead with a record of 2-0-0. They are followed closely behind by Eric's. Our grudge is with Nuffle. They are a Dwarven team. 1-0 is their record. All right, hold on. Give me 5 minutes. A package just arrived. I've been waiting a lot for this package. Give me literally 1 minute of Glorio 4. Thank you so much for the follow. I will be back in literally 20 seconds. All right, sorry about that. Yes, SP Beaver is absolutely correct. I got the power supply and RAM for my new computer. 128 gigs, baby, let's go. But anyway, in Division A, in first place is Chives Nevagunner. They're an Orc team. They are 1-1-0 currently in this competition. They are followed by Forest of Flame, JD Whitey's team. A Wood Elf team, 1-0 is their record. And in Division C, currently tied for first place are the Television Terrors and the Tizorc Savage Boys. The Terrors, a human team coached by me, and the Tizorc Savage Boys coached by Tizzle Bizzle, an Orc team. Well, it will be off stream, sadly, but we will be playing our game against each other tonight, in fact. So I'm eager to play that. Never eager to play Orcs as a human team, but still, it's going to be fun no matter what. So let's take a look at the two teams here that we'll be playing tonight. First up, the home team of Kind Peacocks. They're coming in a TV of 850,000 gold. However, they will be down 3 players on the roster. So Imps are the new version of Brett, and you can see that in their roster here. We'll talk about it in just a minute about how I think they might play. They have a big guy in human. All right. They got a big guy, Humongous, the number 1 ogre. They have 2 blitzers. They have 3 bodyguards and a bunch of linemen. They'll be down 2 that are injured, and they're down 1 period. So that's 3 players they have to pick up at 45k a pop. That's going to bring them up to 985,000 gold in effective team value. They have 2 dedicated fans, 2 rerolls. They're going to be up against a Necro team tonight. SP Beaver says, is that an 8-man roster? It's not an 8-man rooster, but it is an 8-man roster. It is indeed. They're going to be up against the Goodest Boys, a Necro team. They have a TV of 990,000 gold with a full 11-player roster. That means that just 5k will be going back to the Kind Peacocks. Nothing they can do with that, so it's going to come down to these rosters. 2 flesh golems, 2 werewolves, a ghoul, a wraith, and a bunch of zombies, 1 dedicated fan, and also just the 2 rerolls. How are the 2 teams going to play tonight? I think on paper, it's a tough battle for this Imp team. So if we look at the, actually, let's look at the Necro team first. Necro teams, it's kind of easy to see on paper why they're pretty good. The werewolves here, they have an MA of 8 that's really fast. They have decent stats. Otherwise, they have Claw that treats everybody's AV as an 8+. They also have Frenzy that gives them lots of dice on those Claw blocks, provided they don't put themselves in a position where they end up in an uphill or otherwise unfavorable follow-up Frenzy block. The Ghoul Runner Also very fast, has the dodge skill. The flesh golems have stand firm so they can control the pitch. This Wraith, having seen it played now a few times, I'm really being sold on it. I think it's a great piece. It has the block skill, has sidestep, has foul appearance. Sure, it has no hands, but MA 6 is decent. Stat line's decent. Otherwise, this is a really good harassment piece, I think. And then, of course, the zombies linemen. They're not fast. They're decently average, but they're super cheap and they have regen. This is a team that's going to use those werewolves to push players out of position, hopefully for the Goodest boys, that is. The flesh golems are going to try to retain control of the pitch. He's going to try to harass with the ghoul and the wraith and going to try to come out on top that way. He's going to have to be the speed team tonight and leveraging his speed against the opponent to try to open up those holes, to try to control some section of the pitch for at least a turn so he can break away and score. This other team, the Imperial Nobility team, they being I'm going to call them new Bretts, but being new Bretts, they're squarely a pitch control team. So the pitch control team means they have skills that allow them to control the pitch. They have the big guy, of course, with the strength of 5. You can always control the pitch with a guy with a strength of 5. They have Mighty Blow as well. The Blitzers, they have block and catch. We saw that on Brett teams before. They have an MA of 7 that's pretty good. Block and catch is block is certainly great. Catch might be okay. It depends on how you want to play it, right? So this team, well, let's talk about the roster first, then we'll talk about how they might play. The bodyguards have stand firm and wrestle. These are great skills as well. Stand firm means you can't get pushed back. Wrestle means on a both down result, you can take a tumble. You and your opponent can be knocked down, but there's no armor break roll and there's no turnover. It keeps your players a little bit more safe. And then it has the linemen. The linemen all have Fen. Fen means that an opposing blocker can't follow up on you. So can't follow up, can't push back, has block. These are skills that allow you to control the pitch, to carve out the pitch, to shape it the way you want it to be. And that's how the Kind Peacocks are going to have to come out on top tonight. They need to leverage these skills. They need to leverage these bodyguards, put them in key positions. They need to leverage these blitzers and take those important blitzes and maybe even break away a blitzer for a pass. Now, you generally in the game of Blood Bowl don't want to take bombs or long passes. Passing is already super risky. It's usually your last recourse anyway. But having catch makes these shorter catches, these quick passes, even the short passes, a lot safer. You get a free reroll on that, so that's great. And that frees up your team rerolls to use elsewhere. Fend as well is going to fend players away. They can't follow up on you. So he'll need to be able to carve out the pitch with these players and try to control the pitch, but that's only part of the game, right? Once you're controlling part of the pitch, what do, right? You on defense, you try to descend on the offense. On offense, you're trying to open up a hole. And being a low TV team, he just didn't have the skills for that yet, at least on paper, on the roster, that is, to try to do that. It's going to be real tough going up against these werewolves that are going to start pushing people around, that are going to start clawing people out of the game. But paper's only half of it, right? The coaches are the other half, and you have so much agency in this game that there are tons of ways to play. We have not seen a Kind Sir play in the league yet. We've seen Old Gamer Mike play, I think, once, so we don't really know a lot about Old Gamer Mike's play style either. So both these coaches could play these teams in wildly different ways. I'm excited to see what they do. I'm excited to see how this game plays out. I think personally this is going to come down to werewolves versus pitch control. If Old Gamer Mike can use those werewolves effectively, get that player advantage, start pushing people around, that's great. Otherwise, the Imp team's really just going to have to pray to Nuffle. It's going to have to control the pitch and then find something to do with it once they control it. So let's get into this game here. I got the final 2 pieces I needed for my PC, but I'm building a new PC. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, 128 gigs of RAM. I think I went a little crazy on the RAM, but that's all right. I was gonna mount my my GPU, my video card rather. I was gonna mount it not vertically the way that most people do vertical, but like really vertically, like actually, tilted the long way up vertically, until I realized that it was increasing temperatures by 20 degrees Celsius. So no, we're not doing that. We're just gonna have standard horizontal video card. Anchor defense for The Imps. Shifting that line off to the right. All three journeymen on the line. Journeymen all have defense skill, of course. Goodest boys on offense. 2 rerolls for both coaches. Oh, is he wearing a crown? That's amazing. Look at that guy. More of a throw off than a kickoff. Oh, we've got the trapdoors. I've been waiting for a full half of trapdoors. The cheering fans in this version of the rules results in a prayer to Nuffle. We've got these 2 trapdoors on the pitch now. And so what they do, let's try to get it. I was going to say try to get it up. Let's try. So you can see that. So you can see what it does there. So when you end up on the trapdoor, you have to roll a d6. On a 1, you're basically surfed. You're caught in the trap. JD Whitey, welcome to the stream. Black Wolf 82, a kind sir. Old Gamer Mike, all welcome. Welcome. Lock down the line, and now Ted, the number 11 lineman, taking the mark over in the right wide zone. 2-dive block, gets the pow on Mary. Uses Fen, can't follow up, but breaks armor, and that is our first removal. 1-man player advantage now for the Goodest boys. Couldn't follow up. He said, no problem. I'll just take you off the pitch. Taking the mark on these outer linebackers in this anchor formation. You see this often. Oh, look at that ball. What is that? It's not Warpstone, is it? What is that? Double pals on the blitz on the left side. The left outer linebacker here. Another removal. Remember, 8+ is the armor thanks to the claw. That's a 2-man player advantage now for the Goodest boys. Exactly what we talked about in the pregame. Good use of the werewolf. Has to follow up. Has no choice with Frenzy. So is now marking Lil Dicky, the number 2 blitzer. We'll call them the, would you call that a corner? We'll call that a corner. We'll call that a CB. 3+ pickup now. Fails the 3+. Might just let this rock. Indeed, they do. Ball's going to scatter to the 14, and now turn 1 for the kind Peacocks. Yeah, so speaking of electronic toys, I also there was the Google event today, so I ended up pre-ordering the. I've already forgot what it's called. Here's the Blitz, 2-die Blitz. I love those dice. 2-die Blitz is gonna get the knockdown on Joseph, the number 13 Zombo. Needs a 9+ to break armor here. Oh, another armor break. Wow, another removal. We're down to a 1-man player advantage for the Goodest boys. I got the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I think that's what it's called. The Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I'm very excited for this phone. I also got the new watch, the Pixel Watch 3. So those arrive next month. Excited for new toys. Number 4, Bodyguard Johnson. All right, I'm not going to giggle with this team's names. I'm good. There's a foul coming up on the werewolf. This is a good attempt at a foul here. These werewolves, as we stated in the pregame, key pieces on this Necro team, wants to get this werewolf out of the game. Took the foul with the 1, 2, 3 assists, but couldn't break armor. Turn 2 back to the Goodest boys. Yeah, when you're playing Blood Bowl, don't be afraid to foul. You have to make the calculus, right? You don't want to foul willy-nilly. You want to foul when it's worth it. I know that's sort of live, but you want to, right? if you're up against a Wood Elf team, right, you say, all right, who are the key guys on a Wood Elf team? War Dancers. They're real hard to remove. If I get a War Dancer knocked down, you know, I'm probably going in on a foul, right? And if I go in on a foul with a lineman, and I remove a War Dancer, another armor break. I remove a War Dancer, and my lineman gets called off the pitch. That's a great trade, right? You do want to score more points than your opponent. That is true. So I've never seen these trapdoors in play for an entire half. I've been wondering about their efficacy, and how much they actually hinder play. We'll see, or even kind of change formations, or how a formation develops over the half. Another failed pickup lets this rock as well. I think that's wise. The ball's going to bounce back to the 16-yard line. Turn 2 for the kind Peacocks. And I got a new monitor. I'm very excited for the new monitor. I'm rocking 27-inch monitors. Now I'm going to replace one of them with a 32-inch. So I'm very excited for that. Repositions the Ogre over in the left wide zone. Takes a mark on poor Alf. Here's that blitz. 2-die blitz on Alf. We'll get the knockdown here. Another armor break. Gets a stun. Oh, fails the rush, spends the reroll. Kind Peacocks down to 1 reroll, but really wanted to take a mark on that Ghoul runner. That is the potential ball carrier. Was a little exposed here, and now Richard Long. Do I have to say it? Do I have to say it? Dick Long is marking that Ghoul runner. Good positioning by a kind sir. Now turn 3 back to the Goodest boys. 2-die block on the line will be a POW against the number 10 lineman. 2-die block against Wang Chung. Spends a reroll to keep the drive alive. Both teams down to 1 reroll now. Gets a push, but remember, Fend means that these players can't follow up. Now, Fend is a selectable skill. All skills, unless they say otherwise, are optional in Blood Bowl. So a kind sir has the option to not use Fend if he so chooses. An example of a non-optional skill would be Frenzy. Frenzy means you must follow up after that first block. But an important distinction for that, or not distinction, but the reason why that optionality, is that a word, is important, at least in this matchup, I think is going to be for these stand firm players. So you can see a bunch of players have stand firm, the bodyguards and the flesh golems, and sometimes you might see a player elect to not use that skill. 2-die blitz on the player marking the Ghoul runner. The final reroll is going to be spent here. Gonna push away, needs the pickup, has no rerolls left. The pickup works out. Oh boy, prayed to Nuffle. Has plenty of movement left with number 5. Needs to get into some semblance of safety. Currently positioned where he's banking on just the one die blitz. We'll see if that ends up being what happens. Could very easily be a 2-die blitz on the Ghoul runner. Turn 3 now for the kind Peacocks. They have a reroll left. I love the socks on clothespins. I love that. Yeah, there's that first mark on the ball carrier. Has a mark with Humongous, the big guy. So now blitz coming in. a blitz coming in from this direction will be a 2-die blitz. That works too. Here's a blitz, gets a dodge push out of this. Was hoping for more. But now he pushes into position to get a second block, and again it's going to be a dodge push. Boot polish, welcome to the streams. It's very wholesome team names. Are they in the right league? The kind Peacocks and the Goodest boys. Rolls a skull over in the right wide zone. Says that is fine by me. Turn 4 now. The Goodest boys. Two-die block on Benedict. This is the number 11 journeyman. Gets a push. Can't follow up. Has a werewolf available in number 4, Patty Ryan. And there's the blitz coming up with Patty Ryan. One die blitz is a push and has to follow up here. Gonna use stand firm, another one die block. Boy, well done. Well done, kind sir. Using these imps to their advantage. Or using the imps' skills to their advantage. Good dodge by the runner. Is going to advance across the line of scrimmage to the 4-yard line off the left sideline. Absolutely not safe. At this point, looking to probably just try to run away. Has Jack Goodman, the number 7 Wraith, in the safety position that'll absolutely have to contend with. And if that Wraith can get into such a position where the Goodest boys are incentivized to blitz that Wraith, remember, foul appearance is in play. If that blitz fails, that is it. The blitz is done. Or if the foul appearance roll fails, that is. Seven weeks of regulation here in the Dungeonbowl. 6 games for every coach. Every coach getting a 1-week bye. The top team from each of the 3 divisions advances to the top 4, along with the best placing runner-up from each of the 3 divisions. They'll face off in a single elimination bracket, and the finalists will each earn an invitation to the championship, the Blood Bowl. That's the invitational. One die blitz works out due to the block skill. Well done. Breaks armor as well on the ball carrier. Great stun here. But the ball's going to bounce one space back to the 2-yard line. The winner of the Dungeonbowl will advance to the Blood Bowl in the upper bracket, while the runner-up will advance in the lower bracket. Two-die block on David Kessler, the number 3 werewolf. This will be a push. And now a 1-die block against Max. The number 9 zombie lineman. That was protecting the rear of the ball carrier for a brief moment. Kind of Peacocks dip into not into overtime, into the bonus clock. Good 3+ dodge by the bodyguard. Anthony Weiner, the number 5 bodyguard. And now 2-die block with Humongous gets a push. Stand firm. Sergeant McManus, the flesh golem with stand firm, will stay put. Oh, I'm excited to build a computer. Failed 3+ dodge. Second quarter begins. Goodest boys turn 5. They were on offense. They've lost the ball. They're going to try to recover. Going to be a tough proposition with that cool runner being stunned. 2-die blitz by Inspector Villiers. Villiers? I'm going to say Villiers. Gets a pal here on Willie. No armor break. Still has a point of movement with the flesh column. Advances forward to Mark Wang Chung. Boot polish that's going all out or staying a generation out to save money. I went all out. All out. Absolutely bananas. I got an RTX 4080 Super. I got 128 gigs of RAM. I have a whole bunch of hard drives. I was like, well, I'm going to reuse the hard drives. And I decided, well, I'll reuse a couple of the hard drives. So I bought a whole bunch of new NVMe drives. My new motherboard can support, on the motherboard itself, supports 4 NVMe drives. And there's a daughter card to support 3 more. But I just figured I'll just put 4 in there. So I've got 4, 8, 15 terabytes of NVMe storage and another 16 terabytes of magnetic SATA storage. Turn 5, kind Peacocks. Doug the Minotaur, welcome to the stream. Good 2+ rush to get a mark on the ball. Now the scrum begins. 2-die blitz. Gets a push on Alf. That's going to free up the ball. Will absolutely stay put here. Indeed, they do. Good 3+ dodge. Or a 3+ pickup to recover the ball. The ball now in the hands of this defense. Lil Dicky, the blitzer, with the ball. This is a good player to have the ball with. That block skill makes him a little bit safer. Another armor break, gets a stun. After the blitz. Good pickup to recover the ball by the defense. We processed pictures when its builder didn't happen, just like the 4 monitors. The 4 monitors can be seen in the closing credits of one of our seasons. I don't remember which one. It might have been season 2. Might have been season 3. One of those 2. I think it was season 2. You can see the 4 monitors there. Turn 6 for the Goodest boys, running out of time to score. Now they could very well do it if they could recover the ball. But it's not going to happen like that. Turn 6 for the kind Peacocks. First order of business is to move the ball carrier. Is going to move the ball carrier down to the 22. There it is. Back to center pitch. Pretty safe at this point. Goodest boys really would have had to motor to get this ball into the end zone. The problem is, look at the positioning of the defense. Defense with, guys here, here, really controlling center pitch. And it's really difficult to really get anything, to get any lanes opening up anywhere around here. His best option really would be to swing out this way, and there's just not enough time for that. And an armor break. Wow. Regen actually works out here. It's a it's a 9v9 on the pitch. But the Goodest boys guaranteed to get back a player in the next drive. But Bob says, I'm not proud how long it took me to understand kind Peacocks. Naming conventions, they're in the right league. Black Wolf 82 says, yeah, way to move. Very, very good defense by a kind sir. Putting on a bit of an imp clinic, I would say. Gets a push on Humongous. Humongous, or I'm sorry, gets a push with Humongous, but the flesh golems stand firm. Penultimate turn for the Goodest boys. Not a whole lot they can do here. Best they can do is pray to Nuffle on a whole bunch of dodges and a couple of rushes with Patty Ryan to just get the mark on the ball carrier and hope that works out somehow. Very be sad to see the trapdoors go away with no use. 2-die block, double pals on Wang Chung. No armor break. Goodest boys and Old Gamer Mike are going to have to come up with... Oh, I keep forgetting. I've spelled his name wrong in the database. I need to make a note of that. One die block on Oben for the Journeyman. Doesn't work out. Took the Blitz, but by taking the Blitz would not have been able to... Well, yeah, they could still mark the ball carrier if they followed up. Didn't work out, unfortunately. Turn 7 for the Peacocks. For the Kind Peacocks. They're going to stall this out for one more turn. There he goes. Little Dicky going to move into the... Wow, that was crazy. Going to move over to the bottom right corner of the pitch, and now looking for some Kaz SPP. A block on Max, no armor break. Two-die blitz and the Ghoul Runner gets value here. Remember, the Ghoul Runners do not have regen. They only have an AV of 8. No armor break, though. If you can get a shot at that Ghoul Runner, it's often worth it. The Ghoul Runner, the fastest, or one of the fastest players in the pitch. The Werewolves are at 8. Ghoul Runner with an MA of 7. The dodge skill. Black Wolf says if a Kind Service team is still standing there 2 hours after the match, they have to call the oppo. Yes. Yes, they do. It's a serious health condition. They need to get it checked out. Turn 8 for the Goodest boys. This is going to be their final turn and a half. They're going to be on defense as well. Old Gamer Mike needs to figure out a way to regroup here in the second half. They're going to be on defense. They need to find a way to take advantage of their players and really get go aggressive against this team. Try to recover this ball, and probably are playing for the draw unless they can find a way to get a significant player advantage. Doug Luminar says, fun peacock fact, a family of peafowl is called a bevy. I think the fun fact there is the word peafowl. Fails the rush. Peafowl sounds like a Linux error. Like, oh man, I don't know what happened. My computer just gave me a peafowl. I'm not sure what that means. Turn 8 for the Kind Peacocks. They have a reroll. We'll see if they take some blocks first before they try to score. I always get super skittish. Russell's going to work out here. Two-die block with Richard Long. This works out due to the block skill. No armor break. And there's the score, 1-0. Very well done by the Kind Peacocks to score on defense. Doesn't get much better than that. The Kind Peacocks in the lead, 1-0, and they're going to be on offense to start this second half. We'll see how a Kind Sir handles the offense with this imp team. Goodest boys to set up their defense. They're going to have 10 versus 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, 11 player rosters along the board. 10v9, one-man player advantage for the Goodest boys. I think they do need to commit some more P-fouls. So the Necro team choosing to screen out the Imperial Nobility team. They have those flesh golems way wide here in the wide zones. Those flesh golems have stand firm. They can try to lock down the wide zones, but they only have an MAF4, so if they need to reposition, this ball could very well shoot the other direction, and the flesh golems find themselves out of the drive. 5 on the line for the Peacocks. There's this ginger beer that I like a lot called Maine Root, I think. Ginger brew Maine Root. It's very, very good. It's spicy. Tastes a little peanutty, kind of. Or peanut buttery, I guess. Now 4 on the line for the Peacocks. 2 wide. All 4 are linemen. Lil Dicky back to receive. This is the MA7 player with block. The Blitzers come with blitz and catch. Come with blitz and catch. Come with block and catch. I was going to put 64... I have 64 gigs of RAM now. I was going to put 64 gigs in the new machine. And I was like, let's just... So what ended up happening was this all started. So you can hear this, right? So I had to get a new keyboard. My old keyboard had a defect, so I bought a new keyboard. I got the super clicky keyboard. I didn't think about it too much. Goodest boys are going to get an extra reroll. That's pretty huge. They're from 2 to 3. 3 is about the sweet spot, I think, for the team. Ball kicked to the 12. Turn 9 now for the Peacocks. Super clicky keys. I can do some work to sort of filter out those clicky keys from the stream, but it's work that I'm too lazy or too obstinate to do. So I have there's another option that's a lot easier, but it required a new video card. So I was like, all right, well, so the video card I have right now is the venerable GTX 1080 Ti, which I love. It's been around forever and it's a beast. But I started looking into it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to build a new computer. Now, I was going to build it at the end of the year, you know, when I have a few weeks off and some time to do it. But then my credit union, I just happened to catch an email. They were like, hey, you want a new credit card? And I was like, so I didn't like their old one, so I canceled the old one I got when I was a student. And, you know, my credit's a whole lot better since I was a student. So I got their really good card. And the whole point of this was they have a promo on it, which is 18 months, 0% APR. I was like, perfect. Why not use that? So I did that, and then decided I'll just buy the new computer now. Because not only is it 0% for 18 months, but, you know, you get a whole bunch of, you know, bonus points up front if you spend so much in, I think it's 90 days or 30 days or something, whatever it is. So it all worked out. And I will point out, I bought, when I ordered the new phone, the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold, I subscribe to Google's Google One service for storage. That gives you 3% back. So I got the phone and I got the new watch. They give you 3% back, and they had a promo because the event was today. If you ordered the phone, they give you $350 in store credit. So I ended up buying the phone and the watch, and I now have an extra $470 that I got back. I mean, that's great. SB Beaver says, wouldn't it have been easier to get a silent keyboard than rebuild a new... Hush! Don't bring your logic and or wisdom into this. Goodest Boys caging... I'm sorry, not the Goodest Boys. The Kind Peacocks setting up a loose cage on their 6-yard line. The Goodest Boys are going to take a mark on Willie, the back left corner of the cage with their werewolf. Boot Polish calling out the source of my income. Failed 2+ rush by Dr. J.S. Hirsch. Will he spend the reroll here after the blitz? The reroll that Nuffle provided. Does indeed. Turn 10 now for the Kind Peacocks. Yeah, speaking of credit cards, my favored credit card, I really like it, but it's really good for travel, and I just haven't since COVID, since 2020, I haven't really traveled. So it's been a real headache to try to maximize the benefits of the card. I might just need to cancel it. I don't know, but it's really cool. But I don't know, we'll see. Two-die blitz, double pals on Patty Ryan. 9+ breaks armor. Flick the blitz with the ball carrier. Yeah, I had to get a new, so I bought a new car in January. And since January, because I might mildly drive like some would call a jerk. Good KO here by that Ogre. Remember, the Ogre has a Mighty Blow +1. That's going to reduce the armor roll by 1, and if they don't need it on the armor roll, it'll reduce the injury roll. Or it'll add a +1, I should say, to the armor roll or their injury roll. Since I've had the car since January, I have had 2 impact bubbles on my tires. So I had to get a tire replaced. I think it was the day I got the car. If not, it was certainly the first week. And then I just had to replace one. I just did it on Monday. It's so annoying. Blue Polish says, credit cards are nice, but the most fun I ever had was when I bought my motorcycle with cash. Also the most paranoid. Yeah, I mean, credit cards are great. I am not a financial advisor. Do not take any advice from me. But, like, I know a lot of people, I know credit cards kind of put people off, or maybe, they don't, for whatever reason, they don't like credit cards. That's totally fine. For me, I mean, my credit's really good, and so credit cards offer a lot of benefits, and I like to take advantage of those benefits. Is that the trifecta? Car, home, computer? Dude, I block on Benedict here, gets a knockdown. Breaks armor. Gets a stun. Ball currently on Kind Peacock's 6-yard line over in the left wide zone. Lil Dicky, the ball carrier. 2-die block back at center pitch against Wang Chung. Will be a knockdown. Here comes that werewolf trundling down pitch on the blitz. Gets a push. Frenzy follow-up here. Good positioning in the frenzy follow-up. This will guarantee a 2-die follow-up block. Another push. And this time, we'll have to stay put, but plenty of movement left. And we'll reposition. I think I would have let that werewolf follow up, personally. But wanted to keep Willie free. And after the first half, I'm going to say I think a kind sir has a better idea than I certainly do about how to play their team. So let's see what happens in the upcoming turns. Turn 11 now for the Peacocks. Fails the boneheaded test with Humongous. That's the first time Humongous is going to be boneheaded. Most big guys in the game of Blood Bowl have a negative trait, a nega trait. For the ogres, it's boneheaded. Before they take their action, they have to roll a d6. On a 2+, they're fine. If they roll a 1, they lose their action and also lose their tackle zones. So you'll often see with human teams, for example, ogres are their big guys. And human teams, you'll often see the ogres be very measured, very measured with when to chuck dice with the ogre. Because the ogre is strength 5, so they're very good at pitch control. And humans often really have to rely on that player as like an anchor that they can like move around. So by not rolling dice, if you roll dice on the ogre every single turn of the game, that ogre's going to bonehead a number of times across the game. And if they bonehead and lose their tackle zones, you might be in real trouble. So a skill to learn in the game of Blood Bowl is when to, when you have a big guy with nega traits, when do you want to roll with him? No, I'm not saying this was a bad roll at all, but just generally speaking, when do you want to roll with them? If you can't afford the loss, then you really shouldn't be rolling the dice. But that said, the Peacocks' strong position here on offense. They're going to advance the ball down to the 10-yard line in the left wide zone. Fails a 3+ dodge here. Can spend a reroll, but won't do it. I think that's totally fine. And now, turn 11 for the Goodest boys. They're finding their entire team marked, with the exception of Alf. The problem with Alf is that it's 3 MA to stand up. So, and with the exception of Ted as well. The problem with Alf is that it costs 3 MA to stand up, so it's just one more point of movement that Alf can take before rushing. 2-die block back at the line of scrimmage. This will be a knockdown. Breaks armor. My goodness, is that a pitchfork on his hand? I think it is. Totally legal, by the way. 2-die blitz by the Wraith. Breaks armor. Good blitz on the ball carrier. Got a great stun out of it as well. Well done. I think, I'm just saying, if you get stunned by a sheet, you might have to rethink your career as a Blood Bowl player. Like, Lil Dicky, I'm sure you're really good as a blitzer. I'm just saying, if a sheet knocks you out, maybe take up professional Rubik's Cube. That might be more up your alley. Two-die block on Wang Chung will be a push. And Wang Chung says, "Do not follow me, sir. I don't like the smell of your face." Two-die block over on the right side. Both down result. That is it. Turn 12 back to the Peacocks. Peacocks lost the ball. It's on the 6-yard line. They're going to attempt to recover here. And that's going to require setting up some players to mark the ball. Two-eye block on Benjamin, the number 10 lineman. Pushes Lozambo away. Now that Ogre on the blitz is going to get back in the action here. Two-die blitz gets a pow on Alf. 8+ with Mighty Blow will break armor, but no armor break. Elects to follow up and then repositions onto the ball. I heard the Amazon lady whose name I shall not say aloud said something, but I have headphones on, so I don't know exactly what she said. Oh, wow! Big break! Did regen the wolf, which is good for the future, but not good for this game for the Goodest boys. Great armor break by the Peacocks. Now one player marking the ball, and that is humongous, that big strength 5 ogre. Each point of strength makes a player how do I want to word this? I was going to say more than linearly better, but I don't know if that's strictly true. So think of a strength 3 player, and you have a strength 3 player. If you try to block them, that's a 1-die block that you're getting. A strength 4 player means you need to bring in 1 assist for the 1-die, right? Or 2 assists for the 2-die. That's 3 players you need to dedicate to a block on a strength 4 player, all things being equal. A strength 5 player are 3 assists you're trying to dedicate. So not only are you dedicating a total of 4 players, that is a significant chunk of your team to getting the 2-die block on a strength 5 player, but you also need to find a way to position those players that they can assist, provided they don't have guard or something. So strength 5 is huge for that aspect alone. Rush blitz on humongous. This will work out. Patty Ryan on the rush blitz. I think that was the first rush. No, 2 rushes in. So it would have been safe regardless. So gets humongous off the ball, but has Jack Goodman, the Wraith, and Patty Ryan, the Werewolf, covering the ball now. Fourth quarter begins. The Goodest boys absolutely playing for a draw at this point. Might see the Peacocks try to pivot and just prevent a score. Knocks down the number 10 lineman way back behind the line of scrimmage. Repositions for the 2-die on Sergeant McManus and got the POW. This is going to free up Willie, the number 10 lineman. Tizzle Bizzle, welcome to the stream. Praying to Nuffle. 3+ dodge on the blitz to get the POW on Patty Ryan. 9+ will break armor on the Wolf. This is going to push the Wolf away and free up the ball. And has movement with the blitzer to try to recover this ball. It's a 3+ on the pickup. Kind sir might be debating this. Might just let it rock and say, yeah, if this ball fails, if this ball pickup fails and it scatters, it might not be in his best interest. We'll see what we're... Oh, it failed! Oh, and it's going to stay on the pitch. Scatters into the hands of the... Well, into the would-be hands of the Wraith. And then scatters down pitch to the 10-yard line. So scatters out of the scrum, but is in a pretty... Well... I was gonna say a pretty good position for the Peacocks, but maybe not. So Alf's still standing. Werewolf Blitz on Lil Dicky gets a pal. This is gonna free up the Wolf as well. Oh boy, under the ball, 3+. Ah! Well done. Good recovery by Patty Ryan. So now the Goodest boys have the ball on the opposing 14-yard line. They've got a ways to go, and they want to keep that werewolf safe somehow. I don't really think they have too many ways to do that. Yeah, turn 14 now for the Kind Peacocks. So the Kind Peacocks need to get in the way of the defense. Might need to try to recover the ball as well. They do have the Wraith, who is free. Wraith with the block skill. Blue Polish says the ball is stronger than Little Dicky. Yeah, Kind Sir took a moment to consider whether they go for that ball pickup or not. That could have been that ball could have scattered out of bounds, and it could have been a different ball game. Humongous fails the boneheaded roll. So not going to have a big guy for this turn. Fails the dodge on the blitz. Spends the final reroll. Gets a push on the werewolf. That won't be enough to knock down the wolf. But I imagine... Yeah, I imagine this will be marked. And then... Who else can get there? Anyone? I don't think so. So now the question for Old Gamer Mike is what to do about Lil Dicky. Can certainly try to make that a 2-die blitz, but it's a dodge. Well, it has Alf actually. It has Alf. Alf can move in move in here and make that a 2-die with Patty Ryan. And then that's 4 dice to try to get the knockdown though. But if you take it with Patty Ryan and you don't get the knockdown, you're kind of in a worse position because you have to follow up. Peacocks back on the bonus clock. Just a few seconds down, and now turn 14 for the Goodest boys. They have the ball. They're in scoring position. No rerolls remaining, and the question is what to do about Lil Dicky. Lil Dicky, fun fact, Lil Dicky is actually 8 feet tall. Going to blitz with the Zombo. It says it's going to be a 2-die blitz without the block skill. And that is, why? What? Why? Oh, he got the knockdown. Oh! I was like, what's going on? That is catch, not dodge. That frees up the ball carrier. So now, probably stall this out, head over here with the ball carrier. Oh no, he's got to come down this way. So he can't stall this out. He'll come. Boy, he has 3 turns and he's got a motor. I think next up is Johnson. Johnson's a problem. Yeah, so there's the werewolf, Patty Ryan, shifting, advancing forward to the 6. Has 13, 14, 15 spaces to go. Has an MA of 8, so can do it without rushes. Wow, great KO on Johnson. Johnson, as I was about to discuss, Johnson's the next problem to deal with, and deal with it he did. Good removal. Oh boy, these turns. Turn 15 now for the kind Peacocks. Two-die block on Benjamin. Pushes Benjamin away. Benjamin's going to remain on his feet. So didn't figure out Benedict. Could have with wrestle. Oh no, this is a lineman. That's fend. Couldn't have at all. Two-die block on Ted. Ted, the hero zombie that's locking down that left wide zone, gets a knockdown here. I love the crowd. What's up with that? Is that just an accessory that you can get? Oh no, that just must be what imp ogres look like. Under a minute, turn 15. And there's a mark with the rush by Willie, the number 10 lineman. I'm just waiting for like a death on this imp team, and then just one game I just see a guy that's named Cock or something. Dude, I blitz on the werewolf after the rush. Got the pow. Well done. An armor break would be huge here. He got it. Got a great stun. Put the brakes on this defense. Repositioned Richard Long to take a mark on the next big threat by the Goodest boys. That's going to be Dr. J.S. Hirsch. It's going to have to be the ball carrier. Turn 15. They have to end this turn in scoring position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is not enough. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. So then 7, 8, 9 is not enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not enough. What's the game plan here? I'm really not sure. What could it possibly be? I don't think he can do anything. Blue Paw says Flesh Golem pass. Can they? I don't think they can. They cannot. Turn 16 now for the Goodest boys, and I'm sorry, for the kind Peacocks. Yeah, I think old gamer Mike realizes there's nothing to do, and after the turnover, that's going to be it. So now the kind Peacocks, I don't think they have anybody in scoring position. They have Lil Dicky. All right, Lil Dicky's in scoring position. Lil Dicky currently marked. Let's see. Lil Dicky goes in the end zone, and then Wang Chung goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a short pass. On the blitz. Failed the foul appearance on the blitz. tried to blitz away the Wraith, didn't work out. That's gonna be nothing. Turn 16. Goodest boys are not going to be able to get this in the end zone. This is going to be 1-0, the final. Wow, what a hard-fought game by both coaches. This was a lot of fun to watch. Doug Mintar says, only whites and werewolves can pass on the whole team. Yeah, no, whites have hands. It's the wraiths that don't have hands. Yeah, the whites are, the old whites are the blitzers, are they not? Armor break. Gets a KO. It's not going to matter. He's looking for Kaz's here. Luke Paul says, you were white. Another KO. This would be great if this game was, if this was turn 10. Otherwise, really, what's the Kaz's? I must say, this has been well played by both coaches. This was a lot of fun to watch. Again, this is my first time seeing the new Imperial Nobility team at work. I think a kind sir does it justice. It's a lot of fun to watch. I look forward to many more weeks from this team, from both teams. In fact, Old Gamer Mike, also new to the league, picking up a Necro team. And while Necros are not, Necrorectic Horror is not new to Blood Bowl, it's always fun to watch a Necro team on the pitch. And it's also fun to watch new coaches in the pitch. So that'll be at 1-0 the score. The Kind Peacocks are going to win this one. Well done. Congratulations to a kind sir. And with that win, the Kind Peacocks advance into third place here in week 2 with a record of 1-0-1. Very well done and well-deserved win by a kind sir. Again, a lot of fun to watch. Both coaches putting on a good show. Gamer Mike says, unless I get some SPP. SPP is always good, especially on a new team. You want to start picking up that SPP and getting out your team. Again, great showing by both coaches. I had a lot of fun watching that. We got many more to go. Let's take a look at the schedule before I leave so I can build my... Oh, I got a game to play at 9:30. After that, I'm going to build my computer. Let's take a look at the schedule. Coming up next, this Thursday, August 15th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, that's UTC -4, we have Our Grudges with Nuffle versus the White Skull Windbreakers. That's Eric versus Doug the Minotaur. Dwarfs versus Orcs. And then the second game of that double header that evening at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time will be Teen Wolf and Friends versus Street Fighter Turbo Max, El Numerino versus Ian. That's Necro versus Chaos Renegades. I'm looking forward to that. There's one more game left in the week. That is scheduled for next week. If you're unfamiliar, every coach gets 3 3-day extensions. We have a coach that is a coach in that matchup that is spending some extensions due to life. That's what the extensions are there for. So the week will be extended this week until August 22nd for those two coaches. And then after that, week 3 is going to get underway. And when those games get scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to the schedules on our website at maml.club. That's maml.club here on Twitch or on our social media pages on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also watch previous games on our YouTube channel. Build a new computer. Wait, play Blood Bowl. You can play Blood Bowl via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, PlayStation, Xbox, and in tabletop form at your friendly local game store. I was going to say friendly local computer. At your friendly local game store. Until Thursday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening.